Disclaimer.
History is not safe for work, and neither is HistoricHole.
This podcast is uncensored and contains explicit language.
Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and as always, I am joined by Jason and Michael.
Hi.
Hey, and we here at HistoricHole, we take a funny look at history sometimes. Sometimes people, sometimes events, sometimes not real things. Maybe kind of real. I think we're on part 2.
It's an oral tradition that is real, that has lasted millennia. We're doing the Iliad, part 2.
Millennia.
And I do believe where we last left off was Patroclus had just taken Achilles' armor.
Not Odysseus's.
No, not Odysseus'.
Oh, that'd be outright.
It was Achilles' armor, and decided to enter the fray. A new player is joined.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. A new player approaches. Dun-dun-dun.
Patroclus has joined the fight. So,
Get Pikachu out here. He's a god, right? Of thunder. Or is that Zeus?
Achilles, caring for Patroclus' life and whatnot, sends his Myrmidon men with him.
The Myrmidons.
And they enter the fight. And once the Trojans see Achilles' armor, shit the bed. Like, they're just like, fuck this. We're out of here now.
They're like marching in. They immediately just do about face. Nope.
No, because he hadn't, for the past 9 years, he'd been murdering everyone. He's just been out of the game for a couple weeks.
Eating apples.
And all of a sudden he's back. Hell no, we're not doing this. So they start retreating.
By God, that's Achilles music.
What theme song is that?
I don't know.
Oh,
it's
no.
probably badass. Whatever it is, it's Achilles. Probably Pantera.
But in the attempt, because they were at the ships, and when they decided to retreat, they got clogged up in the trenches that the Greeks had built around their camp. At which point, when
I'll start falling.
when Patroclus got to the trenches, it was just an absolute slaughter.
Just bodies on bodies,
Yeah.
It's like the front line.
Murdering people left and right. And it's at this point, Zeus is sitting up there watching the mayhem. He's like,
Still nursing his hangover from that party that caused all this. He's like, ooh.
I see one of my sons is right there. Maybe I should save him. And Hera all of a sudden pops up behind him and is like, no, you can't save that boy. Because everyone else has children in that fray too. So if you save him, we're all going to have to save our children. And then no one's going to be fighting because we've probably,
Everyone's a child of someone.
Because the gods were just, bumping uglies with
Whose
everyone.
life truly matters more?
So Zeus
Apparently,
is like,
if your dad's God, helps.
so Zeus is like, okay, well, fine. The kid's going to die anyway. I don't care. My son will be avenged.
I guess that makes sense.
Right. Well, eventually Patroclus does kill the Zeus's son. And then there's just a random fight over his armor. Like, there's the major war, or, the big battle going on, but then...
It's a slightly less big battle going on over the armor.
Over the armor, yeah. It's like, oh, a man just died. Maybe this is why it actually took 10 years, because every time someone died, they just stopped fighting and just fought over the armor.
Well, they didn't really stop fighting. They just started fighting with their hands instead. They're like, don't ruin the armor. Put the swords down. They're punching each other.
Right, little micro battles over armor.
Micro battles.
Like dropping loot.
Yeah. Right?
Standing over it trying to pick up. It's like, oh my God.
That's a legendary armor piece right there.
Everyone runs. It's glowing. Like the clouds open up and like sun shines down. Everybody stop.
So with all the mayhem,
Was that Zeus's son? No.
with all the death going on, the Trojans retreat, finally get back to the city, and Patroclus is chasing them the entire time, even though
You motherfuckers.
even though Achilles said, "Don't leave the camp, just stay here, don't chase them." But
So he's
Yeah,
breaking
you
the
put
rules.
that Achilles armor on.
You better follow the rules.
Yeah. You put that Achilles armor on, though.
He goes chasing him.
Yeah.
he goes chasing them to the gates.
And don't you come back to Chuckus.
And so he's chasing Hector's chariot, manages
So to speak.
manages to kill his Hector's
Is that what they call it these days?
Yeah, I know, right?
chariot driver. There's another battle over his
Popping
his
her
armor.
chariot.
Oh Jesus!
All right.
So Patroclus kills Hector's chariot's driver. Then there's another little battle over his armor.
It's like the driver in Heat. Remember how everything can be related to the shootout in Heat? As David said, he's the driver, the guy who's now in the insurance commercials.
With Allstate by your side.
With Hector in your chariot.
So while there's a little battle going on over the armor, Hector
A wee
and
little battle.
Patroclus start, eyeballing each other for a duel.
Looking stink eye.
Hands on the sword. But meanwhile,
That's what the sound you make when you
When
draw
you
your
started.
sword.
meanwhile, Apollo sneaks down behind Patroclus and just cuts him a little bit.
Sneaks. Slice.
Apollo Creed sneaks down.
Gives him
Carl Weathers.
wounds him a little bit.
That's more like Gladiator when Joaquin Phoenix stabs him before they fight.
Exactly.
Except it's Apollo Creed.
Stabbing Patroclus.
No, he stabs Rocky.
Which allows Hector to win in their little duel.
Yep.
And then Hector claims Patroclus' armor before there's any contest.
Get it?
Mine!
The body just disappears. The armor just falls down. It's like, pick it up.
I'll take that.
Yeah, and Apollo pulled a sneaky on you. Stabbed him.
These gods are meddling in the affairs of humans.
Do they have anything else to do?
And so while
Run the cosmos.
Hector's putting on his, the Achilles armor, he's trash talking,
Yeah.
kicking him around while he's down. And then Patroclus, his last dying words were, "Guess what? You're going to die too." And just gives him a prophecy about how he will die.
It's very specific.
Oh, I'm sure that scared him.
Yeah, sure. It's like, yeah, you're dead. Yeah, well, I'm going to die. Well, you're going to die right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you'll die someday. It's like, I'm sure I will, but guess what?
You die first. And then there's a big fight for Patroclus' body also because the Greeks want to get it back.
It's getting pulled left and right.
Who wouldn't want that
Legs
body?
getting pulled off. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And so you have
Garrett
Apollo.
Hedlund, or whatever his name is.
Apollo.
Gorgeous. Even with his throat slit.
Apollo is working with the Trojans, and Athena is working.
Obviously, he stabbed Patroclus or Patroclus.
Athena's giving encouragement to the Greeks to keep the fight
So
going.
Apollo is stabbing people. Athena's just like, good job, everybody.
Keep it up, everyone.
You're going to win.
Keep it up.
I just want to say that I'm so proud of this community.
This 10-year war, it's like, God, good job. It's like, who has a war that lasts that long? Yeah, good job, guys. You must have broken the record.
And so
The 100 Years' War.
eventually the Greeks get the body, get it on a chariot, and it flies back to the camp.
Take off! The wings of Pegasus fly. We got it. Go, go, go.
Extraction.
Yeah, it's like, it gets pulled up from the drone thing. It's picked up and pulled out the lifeless body.
So
If you don't laugh, you cry.
body gets back to camp, and Achilles finds out what happens, and he falls to his knees and gives a giant no.
Starts raining.
No.
Crane shot, no.
Yes, crane shot. No. screams out his name a couple times, starts crying, wipes,
Patroclus!
starts wiping mud on his face, just like
Just to make it that much more dramatic.
animal. Just becomes a savage.
Yeah, I'm like, anytime I see anyone rub mud on their face, they usually start slitting people's throats with machetes, like within a few minutes.
Now, there's some people talk about because Patroclus and Achilles were so close. You know how historians are always just like, oh, Alexander and Hephaestion were just really good pals. They were such good pals, but they never are like, yeah, they were gay.
It's fine.
I feel like most Greeks were bi.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. It was just like, they were kind of like...
Everyone just walked around naked.
Yeah.
Was like in great shape.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
again, it was
why
just
not?
like, why would you
Like
let
2/3 of this crew.
Would you let that go to waste? Would you let that body go to waste?
Right.
No, it's just like, I can't just waste this on women. Men have to appreciate it too.
It's like only a man can truly appreciate a man's body.
Even men want him.
Men want to be him and with him.
And so do women.
So Achilles' roars were so loud that his mom heard them from the ocean because she's a sea nymph. So she poked up.
Naturally,
So she poked up. Was like, "What's wrong, baby?"
Yeah, right, Bob.
Mom, they killed Patroclus, and it makes me mad. And she's like, "It's okay."
Makes me mad.
told him not to chase him. I
Right.
mean, he did tell him not to chase him.
Yeah. And she's
That's
like,
what happens when you don't listen to Achilles.
she's like, it'll be okay. I'll get Hephaestus to make you a new set of armor. We'll get you back in there, and you'll avenge your guy friend. He's like, okay. And then Athena shows and starts sulking around his tent for a little bit.
He's playing the Charlie Brown music. Do, do, do. Do, do. His head down.
Let's go and get you a big bowl of ice cream.
But then Athena shows up and is like, hey.
It's the Trojan horse, Charlie Brown.
Athena's like, hey, well, ever since, Patroclus got killed, the Trojans are starting to come back. So why don't you just step outside the tent and let them see you?
Naked.
Yeah. Which he does. And of course, seeing, him.
The sun reflecting off his glistening body.
Yeah, sends them into a frenzy and they head back to the city.
They all start raving. Into a frenzy.
Fuck this.
Everyone's like, yeah! Start pushing backwards.
Look at his body.
We can't possibly defeat a man so gorgeous.
It's like, how could, like Brad Pitt?
Yeah, I know, right?
How could you?
How could you?
So
No one's done it so far. He's still kicking.
It's like that Fight Club, that scene in Fight Club. Like, how could you? He just pounds you in the nuts over and over again.
Jesus.
That's what he did. I mean,
I know. I'm like, we're not.
there's
Yeah.
no rules in fight. At Fight Club, I don't know.
Yeah, this is Trojan.
There
Fight
are
Club.
rules to Fight Club, but there's no rules to the actual fight. I don't know. Jason, continue.
So
You are now allowed to continue.
I grant you permission.
so the Trojans have retreated and camp outside their city, and they start meeting,
Hey.
and they're like, oh, well, maybe we should just do a full retreat, just get inside the walls. And Hector's like, no, let's not do that. We don't need to do that. Why would you do that?
Takes a lot of effort.
Sign of weakness. And well, everyone's like, well, now Achilles is back. We should really probably be on high alert. He's like, no, like, it's fine. We've got this. We've got this. Meanwhile, on the Greek side, Achilles is like, guess what, boys? I'm back. And Agamemnon's like, here's all the stuff I promised you when you came back. He gives Briseis back. He gets his lady back.
Oh, I forgot about that. He's got like all these other ladies. It's like, that's not why I'm coming back.
Agamemnon. Yes. Being a G, just like, all right,
What a
well,
great
I told
name.
you.
Yeah, I gave you my word.
Yeah, exactly. He's a man of his word.
He's Agamemnon. With a name like that.
I'm going to name my kid that.
He'll be a conqueror.
So
Conquer Troy.
Achilles is back. He's suited up. He's like, let's go. All right,
In
ready
his
to
other
do
armor.
this. Everyone else is like, hey, man, we need to sleep. Maybe eat something.
He's been going hard.
Can you hold on for a second?
Achilles, what? We got to eat and sleep.
This is bullshit.
I've
Let's
been eating
go.
and sleeping for 9 weeks.
Yeah. What have y'all been doing?
Like I said, we're watching the medics run by with all the people while I was eating.
Meanwhile,
What's happening?
he's just got that war fervor going on for him. So
I'll do it myself.
so Zeus is like, well, that poor kid, if he doesn't eat anything, he's going to lose strength and stamina and whatnot. So he sends Athena down to give him some ambrosia and nectar secretly, just like an enema or something. Like
An ambrosia nectar enema.
That doesn't sound that bad.
Honestly, after 2020,
I was like, you know what? I'll
haven't
try
lived.
anything.
you haven't lived unless you've had one.
He's just like, oh, I feel recharged.
godly.
Feel
almost.
different. Feel new.
It's just to, give him a little, pep in his step.
Did a pep in his step, or was like, could he just not walk because he's just like trying to run, clenched while he's fighting.
They gave him something, yeah.
Yeah, wait, we said it was an ambrosia, whatever enema.
Nectar.
Something in his
Nectar.
step.
What kind of nectar of the gods?
So the Greeks, sleep, eat. They're ready for battle.
In both orders, depending on who.
And they start marching. Zeus at this point is like, well, all the chess pieces are in place, and calls his children and his wives around and is like, hey, I've been having a lot of fun messing around down here. Why don't I know I said no one else but me, but why doesn't everyone just get involved in this one? So all the gods are
Had a
like,
few drinks. You know what I said before. Yeah, you can do it.
so everyone just goes down to the battle. But
Guess what? I know you've been doing it anyway. Apollo, I saw you stab Patroclus. I'm your dad. I saw it.
So all the gods are down there, but instead of,
Just raining from the heavens. Well, that ain't good.
but they don't like fight or anything or pick warriors.
They just stand there.
Yeah, they're just spectating because they're just like, well, we've helped him out enough. Let's just see how it goes.
Oh, now they don't want to help?
Yeah, they just want to watch.
Now they want
Voyeurs.
eating their mystic popcorn.
No, nectar and ambrosia.
That's true. Enema. They're just putting enemas on themselves.
Nectar of the gods.
Yeah.
It's like literally what that term is meant for.
I feel like nectar is sugary. I've never had nectar.
Really? It's pretty good.
I think I've probably had some form of nectar.
Isn't nectar just mean like, isn't it just like an essence,
Yeah.
like a condensed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what it means. Like nectar of the gods, just like a condensed whatever of the gods.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't necessarily mean sweet. It's just you're thinking of honey.
Rhaegar's looking for some of his own nectar right now.
God. So, battle is joined,
Rhaegar. What is Rhaegar the god of?
and Achilles is just slashing left and right
Slashing and bashing.
to the point where there's some rivers getting clogged with bodies. And the river god's like, hey, man,
Yeah, he's like,
this is my home. What are you doing? Starts trying to fight him.
I live here.
Achilles starts fighting him off. And then Hephaestus
The river guy. He's just like, fuck you too.
Hephaestus shows up and saves him from the river god. And then
He's a giant tidal wave coming towards him, just gets swept out of the way.
That'd be Poseidon.
It's a river god. It wouldn't be like as big
the
as an
ocean
ocean
god.
tsunami, but it'd be a lot of water. It's still a river.
A tidal
River's
wave from a
powerful.
river. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael.
It's the river god.
It's a slight flood.
Pick up the river and just drop it on.
It's like a splashes him, like a playful splash. A tidal wave.
Squirt gun.
Achilles is just wrecking Trojans, so they start retreating again.
Naturally, cowards.
Apollo swoops down and impersonates Aeneas to challenge Achilles to a fight, and they start fighting a little bit. And then once all the Trojans are inside the city walls, he's just like, okay, see you. Disappears. And Achilles is like, damn. I thought I was going to kill someone. Shucks.
Fucking like a Loki over here. Apollo.
Now, the only Trojan to stay outside, though, was Hector.
Still out there. Where y'all going?
And once him and Achilles lock eyes, all bets are off.
His screen goes tight straight to their eyes. Shing Shong.
And they fight.
I don't know if Hector was Shing or Shong, but
Well, Achilles starts trying to chase him.
let them fight.
Starts heading towards him. Hector flees. They actually do 3 laps around the city
You'll never get me.
before Achilles catches up to him.
La 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 la, you will never get this.
Jesus, heck, what kind of cowards are Trojans? My God.
Well, so Hector
Just,
was like,
run
"Oh, we're
away
gonna
from
fight,"
everything.
and then he's just like, starts running around.
If you can
Troy.
catch me.
And also the only reason that he stops is because Athena impersonates one of his companions, so he thinks it's a 2 against 1.
He's just standing
So-
out there, also, "Hey, I'm gonna help you."
So he turns
him.
around to fight, and then Achilles, approaches, and he's like, "Okay, we got him." And as
He's
he
probably
looks
even
to his
angrier at
friend,
this point, like, "Stop! Let me kill you."
and as soon as Hector looks to his companion, gone, poof. So Hector's just like, "Well, I guess we're fighting him then," because battle is joined. Swords clash.
Well, apparently, he was not looking forward to that. For
Running
3
around.
laps
Figure
around
at some
the
point,
city.
someone like, "Can someone shoot him with an arrow?" Has no one see him chasing me?
Right?
It's around the corner
Now, Hector put himself at a disadvantage against Achilles,
because he wasn't Achilles.
By not being Achilles.
and also by wearing his armor, which he knew intimately and knew where all the weak spots were.
Everywhere.
So he stabs him in some weak spots in the armor,
Ow!
Naturally.
and then ties him up and attaches him to a chariot,
Oh, hell yeah.
and he goes riding around.
Yep. That's what you do.
That's what you get when I make me chase you.
And sand against skin for a couple hours. That ain't good.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah, he got some road rash.
yeah. Slight road rash there, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Probably got a little bit of a scrape.
He's hitting all the rock. Ow! Ow! Ow. It's like, where's the rockiest part around Troy?
And then
Goes downhill.
while he's riding around, other Greeks, start coming up to him. So he stops, and all the other Greeks just start stabbing and kicking the corpse too. And then he continues riding around, just in front of the city walls too.
Yeah.
like
Just
King
open.
Priam
like,
is up there.
maybe we
His
should have
wife
helped.
is up there. His brothers are up there. It's just like,
Fucking Paris.
Ha.
Whoops.
Ha. Achilles just giving the middle finger. It's like riding around the city.
Not even say anything.
Watch, as they're watching it.
his vengeance satiated. He goes back to the Greek camp where he finally eats. It's like,
All right.
He eats Hector.
After a long day of dragging a corpse,
I
return
like
home.
a nice steak and some cures. I mean, nectar.
and it's at this point
Light.
that a ghostly image of Patroclus comes to Achilles. Is like,
Force goes.
hey, burn my body so my soul can go to heaven.
Everything is pain and sorrow.
So they
Please burn it.
construct a funeral pyre, and they then have 12 days worth of games that Achilles puts up money for. There's boxing, some
Some
do
like
funerals.
rolling dice.
Back in the day,
wrestling,
were awesome.
archery, and a chariot race.
I'm gonna do this at my funeral. I'm gonna have a chariot race and some backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
Like
And
archery.
He's putting up cash too.
Have like a band show up.
Well, of course, it's gonna be a band.
Live music. It
It's
just
gonna
goes
be a
hand in
casino.
hand.
I'm just gonna have it at a casino. My funeral.
I'm just gonna open a casino and bury me in the center.
And at the end of the night, everyone's gonna get drunk, and I'm gonna crowd. My corpse is gonna crowd surf.
But over the
Casket gets dumped.
no,
We got it.
no casket. You're on a funeral pyre. Like you're getting burned to ash.
They're gonna crowd surf my corpse all the way over to the pyre. Yeah, throw me on top. Of
Yeah.
It's like, is it gonna go on now? No. Take him back.
Yeah,
Keep back
it's just
here.
like, no, we're keeping you here. Just kidding. You're staying for a couple more hours, bro. We're not doing it yet.
Party's not over until your soul's at peace. Please, every moment is pain.
Someone like puts his head up against their ear. He's like, he still wants to stay.
What are you saying, Patroclus?
So over,
He says, keep going with the chariots.
what,
Make
over,
a chariot race.
He says, have another chariot race.
Well, okay. And they drop him. Whenever the party goes somewhere else, it's a bunch of like solo cups and just his body right next to the fire.
over the 12-day celebration of his life, Achilles
As he's tormented in limbo.
Achilles is also
He's just like, all right, dude, I'll get right on that, but give us 12 days to have
well, no,
some fun.
they burn his body first, and then that kicks off the 12 days of games.
Oh, okay. So that's like the all right.
So we weren't doing it.
It's like lighting the Olympic fire. Like that starts the games.
Okay. Interesting. So lighting the body is the lighting of the Olympic fire.
Yeah, and then 12 days of games.
The Olympian.
Now, also over those 12 days, Achilles was
Crazy
still
days.
torturing Hector's dead body, just like mutilating it.
So I guess that body needs to be burned in order for Hector.
Yeah, exactly. And just because he's just an angry person, he's just like cutting off fingers and shit, just carving skin off of him. Just
Even though he's dead and
Yeah.
can't feel it.
You motherfucker.
Ultimately pointless.
but in the background, Apollo is, the god of medicine, is just like healing him and shit, keeping his body from rotting.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
Right?
Healing his dead body.
The gods are metal. Dude, Zeus honestly seems like kind of a flake. He's just kind of like in and out. Just like, yeah, I'm going to enforce rules. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to enforce rules. Actually, just kidding. And then kind of going back and forth.
Hey, Apollo, don't stop stabbing people. You're the god of medicine.
But then just like totally is like, absentee landlord god.
Well, Apollo goes to Zeus,
Absentee landlord.
after
god.
the 12 days. It's like, hey, this is disrespectful to the dead. Could you
after 12 days
could
of
you
games,
persuade people?
After a few hands of poker, like you finally lost. You're like, this is disrespectful.
It's disrespectful to the dead. What the hell?
Unless you buy me back, kid. In which case, it's fine.
That's what Patroclus would have wanted.
He wanted to persuade Zeus to, pull some strings and get both parties to agree to a ransom of Hector's body back to Troy.
We're getting the body back.
And, he does. Priam sneaks out in the night, guided by Hermes, into the Greek camp where he meets with Achilles in his tent. It's like, hey, I want my son's body back so that we could do what you just did for Patroclus. Like,
We want to have fun and joy.
We went 12 days of games. That looked like a lot of fun.
We were watching you.
We watched you from behind the walls.
and Priam in his
Warriors. Troyers. God, I should.
Vern Troyers. Just nuke the room.
I know, right?
I've done nothing wrong.
Like
Burn
the
the
gas
studio
starts
down.
coming out. Too many puns. In the episode, we just die.
Corpse.
Burn us, please.
Yeah, burn corpses.
Don't think
Whatever
it's-
happens, burn our corpses.
King Priam appeals to
Burn Jason's last. Like, do it every 12 days, or you only can have 12 days.
right. This is 36 days of games.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you want to
Stretch it out. You get a lot of
yeah,
games.
like you want a month of some games? Burn Jason last. Burn me first so I can have peace in the afternoon. You can drag his body around.
King Priam appeals to Achilles as a father. It's just like, your father's going to go through the same deal that I'm going through because you're destined to die here, seeing as you entered back into this fight. And that really hits Achilles hard. It's like, oh shit, you're right. My dad will bury me too. And it's terrible when fathers bury sons. So it's like, okay, you can have the body back.
Sorry about all those
You've
games.
appealed to my humanity. I'm sorry I dragged his corpse around the city for like 3 days.
And so
After chasing him.
And I cut all his fingers off and just was mutilating him.
Priam takes a nap because he's old. sleeps in a
No one had to fuck this guy.
Ooh, that took a lot of effort. Thanks for the Bible.
sleeps in Achilles' tent until Hermes wakes him up. And it's like, hey, by the way, you know they still want to kill you, right? No one knows you're here. If Agamemnon knew you were here, like, you would be dead. So you should probably skedaddle. And he leaves and takes the Hector's.
Sure, you're right.
takes Hector's body back to
thank
Troy.
you, Hermes. I think I'm gonna go on my way.
Yeah, takes Hector's body back to Troy.
Just like throws it on his back and just walks back to Troy.
Where's the party
Did
body?
Hermes like give him like a spell so they didn't see him or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure
that was an
course.
important detail there. I think.
Well, he gets out. He leaves.
Who cares how he got out? He got out.
He got out unmolested.
He like fought a bunch of dudes like Jason Bourne.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, if
He like throws Hector's body and a bunch of dudes down the stairs to get him. Sorry, son. And he keeps fighting him. Throws him out the window into a moving car.
help him.
He takes a nap.
And then once they get back to Troy, they have a funeral for Hector. And that's the end of the Iliad. It's Hector's funeral. It's okay, Rhaegar.
That's a sad ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Burn his body. Everyone stands there sad. Meanwhile, the gods are just like, is there anything else going on in the world other than Troy? Should we take care of the rest of the world?
No.
We're gods.
We're
gods.
We'll be everywhere, anywhere, all the time.
Well, that was enlightening.
Well, that was the Iliad.
Yeah. And then in the beginning of the Odyssey is when you find out what befell Troy. And actually, it's also alluded throughout the text also that, every 14 lines, it's like, oh, by the way, Troy's going to fall.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Have you been to Troy?
Troy's going to fall.
It's gone. It's not here on the earth anymore.
It's always alluded to that Troy will fall. Hector, all these people are going to die in a certain way. And it's just people playing that out.
It's like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Troy fiction.
For Patroclus.
So yeah, I guess we'll cover the Odyssey at some point, and we'll find out the exciting conclusion to.
Yeah, because the Iliad really isn't about the fight between.
It's really a story of games.
It's not really about the fight between Greece and Troy. It's more
About
about
the friends we made along the way.
Achilles being angry and how his anger affected everyone around him.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who appealed to his mom to get Zeus to make it hard for the Greeks in the war. And what did that end up accomplishing? His buddy got killed.
Yep.
So, he starts thinking about all that, I'm sure, over the course of the 12-day games. Everyone's having a good time, but he's in the back like, this is my fault.
Goblet in hand, staring into the fire.
Because of his anger issues, he had that fight with Agamemnon in the beginning where he just stopped fighting. Like if he hadn't done that, his buddy wouldn't have died.
Yep.
Basically, he just needs to go to anger management classes.
He needs to recognize that this is all his fault. But yeah.
It's like there's one thing to be like an alcoholic or have some sort of other issues. It's like you're tearing your family down. It's like, dude, he's gonna start a 10-year war and all this shit's going on.
Guess we'll get into the shill stuff now.
Shill.
We'll wrap everything up with a nice bow.
It is Christmas time.
Yeah.
Boo.
This will probably be coming out shortly after. But anyway. All right. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. Give us 5 Patrocluses. Give us 5 Trojan horses.
Give us
5
12
funeral pyres.
Yeah, 5 12-day games.
Yeah, give us 5 days of games on iTunes if we're worth it. Or Spotify, we're on there too. You can give us reviews on there.
Whatever your preferred platform, you could probably find us.
Do whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me.
whatever you want to do.
Don't give us anything at all. Just fucking listen and leech the free content.
Yes.
Slugs.
Leech it.
But seriously, it's for free. We don't advertise.
That's the
This
best
is the
part.
only part of the episode.
That's the best part of watching us on YouTube is no fucking advertisements.
Not yet.
Yeah, no, we're not monetized yet, but YouTube might do it. You never know. They might just be like, "Hey, we're gonna run ads."
Give us
on your
money.
shit. You never know when they might just run ads. I think they have some new policy where they're just like, "We're just gonna run ads on shit, and nothing you can do about it." It's just like, all right.
Well, that's good to know. Hopefully they run like a Mercedes Something. Ford.
Or like, I don't know that we'd even get any money off it. But
probably get
whatever. Who
Craft
cares?
singles or something like that.
If we ever,
No, we get one of those things that like may cause cancer, but it also helps with cancer. It's like no cancer resabenine. Here at Historical.
yeah, we'll like start pushing some weird like homeopathic healing, natural healing stuff.
We call it a
Healing crystals.
Okay.
And yeah, then we'll definitely get deplatformed because people will be like, "It's disinformation." Blah, 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 blah. All right.
Exactly how they say.
Essential oils are real, people. I don't care what they say.
Essential.
If you like listening but watching, you can find us on YouTube, like we just said.
Instagram.
You can follow us on social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. We post the full episode on IGTV, which is on Instagram. So you can find us there as well. Word of mouth is the best advertising we can get. So if you like it, tell people about it.
Yeah, man.
And that goes farther than like fucking anything ever. So
Yeah.
like,
Who
you know,
needs ads when you got people talking about you?
organic
You can be our
growth
ad.
is the key to building
the living ad.
building a good, honest base. So if you like it, tell people about us.
Base.
You can email us at historical@gmail.com if you're like fucking 50 years old and still use email, because like nobody uses it anymore besides old people. I guess this is a joke there. I've made that joke like a million times.
Yes, that is the consistent joke.
Tisk.
And we always do this statement of modernity, which every week is basically just like something we say that try to encapsulate the times that we're living in, because everybody's got something to say about that. I mean, we can be going back and forth, but how about you have nothing to fear except everything in existence.
Yeah.
Life is full of holes. Enter wisely.
Bye.
12 days of